Hello, welcome to Dual Credit World History A. Right now we're talking about Unit 3, Renaissance and Reformation. To me, okay, the last two units have been super cool because there's just so much fun stuff. But Unit 3 is where it really gets, I guess, the rubber hits the road, okay? And where it gets really super interesting, I think. Um, because, all right, so you remember with the last one, with Unit 2, that we talked about the Crusades and we talked about people realizing that there was life outside of the towns and cities where they, okay, it was towns. It was just towns. The places where they lived, and they were used to, before that time, they were used to, no one really like left, okay, where they lived. There was no reason to, according to them, right? So then we have the Renaissance and Reformation, and that's where some really cool stuff starts happening. So we've got humanism, and you'll watch a video about humanism and about the Italian Renaissance and what's going on there. And everything just kind of exploded. It was this idea that the human body can be looked at and stuff like that, and the just the Renaissance and just a new way of thinking, which was really super cool. Okay. It also brought in the things like the Spanish Inquisition, which wasn't the very coolest thing. And so then with the Renaissance, then there also became a kind of a reformation of the the religion of the time. Okay, so then you have Martin Luther and his 95 Theses that he put on the wall of the Catholic Church. Now he wasn't trying to come up with a new religion. Okay, he was a devout Catholic monk, and he wanted to stay a devout Catholic monk. But the people in the Catholic religion were very opposed to these theses, and so then he kind of had to start the Protestant Reformation. Okay. And a lot of that happened, just because it had to, honestly. Um, so then we have Henry VIII, and he also decides that he gets sick of the Church of England because he can't divorce his wives. He went through a lot of them because they couldn't get him a male heir. We know now that the reason he couldn't have a male heir was mostly him and not the women that he was married to. But anyway, so he was trying to get a male heir and to divorce his wives. And so he finally left the Church of England and was joining in a Reformation as well. He had the whole idea of like, well, I guess you can just do that, which was pretty cool, right? And this all really stems from the invention of the printing press. I remember when I graduated from high school in the year 2000, um, Time magazine came out with an issue that talked about the things that have made the most difference, in the last years, as far as what just the things that have been invented. And number one was definitely the printing press, and that's because the printing press made it so that people could print things that they hadn't been able to print before. People could read that hadn't been able to read before. Printing caused people to read, caused a lot of literacy, and caused people to be able to read Bibles in their homes, which had never been done before. So that was a pretty exciting thing. Okay, so for your project for this unit, you're going to go to my website, and this is for Unit 3. Here are the focus notes, and the project is a timeline. What I want you to do, this is the David. I've actually seen it, which was pretty cool. So the Renaissance, which was a primarily cultural movement that occurred in Europe from 1300 to 1700, means rebirth. What was being reborn? European culture, political organization, and economics. During the Middle Ages, European culture was dominated by the Catholic Church, and government and economy were feudalistic. This begins to change in the 1300s, and the institutions that govern Europe and later its colonies began to be recognizable to us living in the modern era. The years 1500 to 1800 are considered the early modern era, and the Renaissance is what transformed medieval Europe into modern Europe. Okay, so once again, we're talking about Europe in this time. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to submit a presentation or a 5-paragraph essay, 600 words or more, that explains how the Renaissance transformed Europe between the years 1300 to 1800. You must include 3 of the following topics and how it has affected you or the world. Okay, so artistic cultural development, political government development, economics development, religious development, scientific technological development. This is your scoring rubric. You've also been given a timeline. Okay, and each one of these is given a category, and so this is kind of your cheat sheet right here. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can choose from. Not all of them, but a good percentage of the things that you can choose from for your project. If you have any questions, please let me know. And good luck, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.